I'm back at it again, and I just wanted to encourage you to cut anyone off who invalidates your feelings. And I'm not saying cut everybody off, but if you see that you have a friend, a family member, a loved one, a significant other who consistently invalidates your feelings, you should cut them off, because it's not going to end. And what it says is they don't value you as a person. Anybody who does not value you in your life shouldn't be in your life. That's number one. But number two, and this is really important, it signals that they don't want to take accountability for anything that they have done to impact you in any way, right? Especially if it makes them look negative, which can be a sign that they're a narcissist or someone who just doesn't want to see themselves in a negative light, right? Some people are delusional, just in general, right? So I'm gonna give an example. And before I even give the example, I want you to understand that sometimes there are people whose feelings are ridiculous, and when I say ridiculous, I'm not saying ridiculous in the sense that we're invalidating their feelings. I'm saying that they're creating scenarios in their mind that didn't happen. That does exist, right? But you still acknowledge the person's feelings. I'm going to give an example of that before I go into the next part, which was I threw a vision board party, and I had a friend come over, and the friend, she was so good at arts and crafts, and she brought so many things to assist, right? I was running late, and I had to drop somebody off, and when she came, I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for bringing the stuff. I made everybody like cocktails. I was talking to everybody, all this stuff. I was hosting a vision board party, right? I didn't hear from her for a few days, and I'm the type of person, I catch up with my friends. So I contacted her, and she was just like, she was talking to me regularly, and then she was like, I'm really upset with you. And I'm like, what did I do? And she was like, you just ignored me at the party after I brought all these things, and mind you, at the party, I told everybody, like, if it wasn't for her, this party would not have happened. Like, I was talking to her. I made her her own personal drink. Like, we were having a whole conversation. And I don't know what happened. And she's somebody who suffers from anxiety. But this girl told me that I just ignored her, and she felt like I used her. And mind you, let me tell you something in life. One thing I will never do is use anybody for nothing. Nobody could ever be like, oh, she was using me. Nobody could ever say that I use them for anything in life. Like, I'm not about that life. So it was just really weird. And I was like, are you kidding me? So I contacted somebody else that was there. I was like, did I ignore her? Because I know that I was like interacting with everyone, and I made sure that I was trying to make sure everybody was comfortable. Like, you hosting something, you want all of your guests to feel their best. So I apologize to her, because here's the thing. If you're my friend and I love you, I don't care what the situation is. I'm never going to leave the situation in a way where you feel bad. Like, even if it's not the case, and it clearly wasn't the case. I was like, am I losing my mind? Like, I sat across from her. I was telling everybody, like, I was asking her questions. I was telling everybody, like, please thank her, because she's the one who brought all of the crafts for the vision party and the magazines. So it was just so weird. And in that case, I still validated her feelings, because I'm never going to make you feel like crap as my friend. But I also was like, are you okay? Because that didn't happen. You know what I mean? It was her internalizing whatever she was feeling about whatever the situation was that I don't really know about. But I still apologize, right? Because I don't want to invalidate your feelings. And she was important to me. And that I said was important to me. And so I apologize. And I meant that so sincerely. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't remember that happening. But if it did, I am so sorry. Like, you know what I mean? And I will make sure that never happens again. Period. Now, let's fast forward. I had another friend who she did something I didn't like. And I talked to her about it. And this wasn't the first time I talked to her about it. And I'm going to give an example. We were supposed to be going on a trip to Colombia. I wanted to go to Medellin. I've wanted to go to Medellin forever. I've been to Cartagena, but I wanted to go to Medellin. Shorty was supposed to come on the trip with me. She told me, I'm coming, I want to go, blah, blah, blah. We had the same schedule. She never told me she wasn't going. I was already planning the trip. She never said anything. Obviously, if you don't contact me and we're supposed to be going on a trip, we're not going on a trip. So I was upset, but I didn't flip out. I'm not going to flip out on my friends, because I love my friends. So I talked to her about it later. She gave me a fake apology, whatever. Now we fast forward, and she also did something similar again. And she was like, oh, that's not true. This is not true, not true. She's invalidating my feelings, and she was asking me for evidence to prove, like, why I would feel this way. So then I give her evidence, and, she feels stupid. She apologizes, but the behavior doesn't change. That is still invalidation of your feelings. And so for me, I just don't consider her a true friend. Like she's cool, she's a very nice person, and I think she has great intentions, but she's not my friend. She's an acquaintance who's around when it's necessary for her to be around or when she feels like being around, but she doesn't communicate with me, so I don't know what's going on with you. We're not friends then. You know what I'm saying? And also, you know, I see the differences, and if I'm your friend or you're my friend, and I tell you that I feel a certain way, and your response is no, that's not true, or oh, that's crazy, or blah blah blah. See you later. I'm not playing with people. Like, I value the people that are in my life, and you should value the people who are in your life. And if people don't value you in return, they need to go. Period. A major way that you can recognize that people do not value you is when they invalidate your feelings. I'm going to give you another example. I have a friend, and I'm going to tell you the truth. In 2025, I disappeared. Like, you have not seen a post from me in 2025 because I was not available to the world. Okay. I took a hiatus from everybody. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody, because I was going through my own stuff. And I had a friend, and this girl has been my friend for the last 15 years. When I say she's a friend, she's been a friend. And I did not speak with her during this time. I did tell her, like, I'm taking a break. I don't want to talk to anybody. And she was understanding. But, you know, you didn't speak to your friend for an entire year. And, you know, she told me she felt a certain way about it. And I had reached out to her, and I had a whole 2-hour conversation with her, giving her the whole spiel of everything that was going on. And 2 things happened in that conversation. One, I acknowledge that person is my friend, and I love her, and I would never do anything intentionally to hurt her, and apologize for, like, you know, I did separate myself from everybody, and I apologized because that's my homie, and I love her, and I know that, you know, I would never want her to feel like I would cut her off because she's just a good person. So that's 1. 2 is she recognized and acknowledged how I felt. Okay, because I was going through my own situation, and she didn't understand what was going on because I never explained it to her. But when I did, she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I love you, blah, 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 whatever. And we acknowledge each other's feelings because we both value one another. And that is what happens when people value you. They validate your feelings, or they acknowledge your feelings. Okay. And so your feelings are not always valid, but your feelings are not always justified, but they are always valid. And anybody who tries to invalidate those feelings, deuces.